We did want to take a moment to also explain a little bit more about the employee experience umbrella at Norton Healthcare. This may look different across industries and organizations, but what I love from the key questions Conrad shared with you guys is they're all really focused around the employee first and foremost, and their connection to our organization. So that's really what our teams strive to do. So employee experience is made up of 4 key teams. First being, I'm going to talk on our teams in a little bit later, Conrad, but first being our employee experience people ops team, and they really ensure a seamless operations experience for Norton Healthcare, from credentialing to employee postings. But my favorite program of all that they manage is our employee life events program in the family, and that's really there to celebrate, honor, or offer support for employees outside of the workplace and outside of the work that's happening. So I think Conrad may share of his life event that happened in a few slides, but I'll let him share his news. But also another key team of the employee experience umbrella is our People Center team. And our People Center is managing day-to-day employee questions, calls, concerns, any kind of immediate needs, or pebbles in shoes, like our team likes to refer to them. So any kind of day-to-day frustrations or obstacles, we have several employees that reach out to the People Center team for immediate support. In 2024 alone, the People Center team actually answered 30,200 calls. That is a team of 6 full-time employees and 1 part-time employee. And that is incredible. And that impact, I had to make sure I recognize that. If you think about 30,000 minor obstacles or questions or delays in processes across any company, that's profound. So offering support where support is needed has been really key in enhancing the employee experience overall. Now, I will give Conrad a moment to share in a couple slides a little bit more on employee experience insights and their effort to engage our employees. But I work in the culture strategies umbrella with 4 other amazing peers, and we are very focused on impacting the employee experience before day 1 to retirement and beyond. We have a very unique approach to our onboarding, but that now includes engaging with employees before their first day. But to Conrad's point, if employees exit the organization for a variety of reasons, we stay connected through our alumni network, which has been very successful. But we're also actively communicating and upholding our internal brand that's referred to as the Norton Way. So different leader communication tactics are crucial for our team, as well as employee communication. And my favorite, which is leading a culture of appreciation for the organization. So of course, we're really going to focus in on that modern leader toolkit as we get into our presentation. So you'll see that we'll kind of grow into this topic a little bit more, but these are 4 key areas where we want to make sure we're taking an active approach to leading that culture of appreciation for the organization. So in recognition of you, this is our performance recognition platform that is powered by OC Tanner. And speaking of OC Tanner, every small star you see on the screen indicates an OC Tanner partnership of some sort. So I had to make sure I give them kudos. But in addition to our performance recognition, where we have several tactics to make sure we're encouraging efforts and rewarding results, we're also celebrating. So celebrating service milestones, retirement, and key events in the organization. Speaking of key events, I know we are less than a month away from World Appreciation Day, so keep that in mind for your employees. Make sure you've got something in place. But just one day wasn't good enough for Norton Healthcare, so we actually celebrate our employees for an entire month later this year. So continue to think about ways where you can embed different events and engagement and celebrations in your organization. But I will say, with everything being said, I've got to hand it over to Conrad, who manages our insights team, because he's been a huge support and really quantifying, is the work that we are doing meaningful to our workforce?
Certainly. And so, and I would say if an organization is trying to justify, for instance, a large expenditure on, developing culture, whether it's through integrating a recognition platform, service anniversary awards, retirement awards, it's especially in our space where we're a not-for-profit organization. So we really have to be accountable and be good stewards of our resources. So how do we justify that work? How do we find, the return on investment? And that's really what the employee experience and insights team is here to do. We're here to make sure that we see the proper outcomes based off of the time, the effort, the investment that we take in approaching these various programs. Whether it's something, dedicating leaders to employee rounding, whether it's that in recognition of you program, in the family program, all the stuff that Andrea just mentioned, that's what we're here to support. So we do this by having a pretty robust employee listening mechanism in place, whether it's new hire surveys, our annual census surveys that are available to the entire organization. We have surveys built for exiting employees, topic-driven ad hoc surveys. Like I mentioned earlier, we acquired a couple facilities this year, so we wanted to see, okay, how did they feel about the acquisition process? And we can embed demographic fields within each of these, saying, okay, these employees recently went through onboarding. What are their perceptions of, the new hire gift? Okay, these employees were received recognition X amount of times over the course of the last year. What was their perception of value? And it really gives us a picture of, okay, are we succeeding? Are we making the program adjustments that we need to create the culture that we expect? So in the partnership that we've had with the culture strategies team, with our HR ops support team, it's integral to the success. But we do want to be, like I said, great stewards of our resources, make sure that we're assessing the proper things, and driving the program development that really meets our employees where they are. One of the more intuitive things that we've done the last couple of years is we launched a leader rounding program. This is a means for leaders to engage with staff and record these interactions. What's special about this, as opposed to our surveys, is that they're one-on-one interactions. All right. So this is just a typical touch point that a good leader has with a team member. And we know that here at Norton Healthcare, we have a lot of great leaders and they're already doing this work. But what it allows us to do is measure it and make sure that we're holding folks accountable. So then we can go back and say, okay, how many interactions does it make for successful leadership at Norton Healthcare? We can also tie other tools and resources to this leader round. So for instance, we've embedded HR alerts. This is a way for a leader to say, hey, I need some HR assistance, or this employee needs some HR assistance, whether it's help with their benefits, retirement. They need to meet with an HR manager regarding some concerns. It's a great way to trigger that assistance and make sure that we're, once again, meeting employees where they are. We can do a code lavender. This is a little more specific to the healthcare industry, but it's tough on our caregivers if there's an adverse outcome on a unit or if they lose a patient. So we want to be cognizant of that. We want to give them the resources they need to cope. And so we can trigger a low code lavender where they get help from our chaplains. They can reach out for counseling services, and those resources are driven directly to the individuals that need them. Andrea mentioned our In the Family program, our life events. This can also be triggered by a round. So if, for instance, my leader, Jason, was rounding on me a couple months ago, and he found out that my wife was expecting. And we welcomed a healthy baby girl to our family just 2 weeks ago, believe it or not. And then he triggered a life event. So when our daughter arrived, we got a meal delivered to our house. We got an awesome onesie that says "Welcome to the Norton Healthcare family." And Norton Healthcare got to celebrate with us. It was a really special time. So it's one of my favorite programs. We also have bereavement life events, marriage life events, and this program is ever expanding. So it's really awesome, and it's one of the cooler things that we've done. I think last year we celebrated over 1,400 different life events across the organization. So it's become a very large program. And then most importantly, we've integrated our recognition program in recognition of you. This is a way for leaders real time within our rounding platform to recognize employees for doing great work. Maybe they find out that they went above and beyond in a patient. Or maybe their team member really supported them and they want to recognize them from the tool. They can do that. So it's just another tool in the toolkit to help our leaders make sure that they're showing the level of appreciation that our staff deserve. It's giving our leaders their resource and power to do that. So we're really excited about that partnership, and OC Tanner has been integral every single step in making that happen.